There you go. Are we good?
We good? Wi-Fi is engaged.
Wi-Fi. Okay, so I think what happened is I needed to be on Wi-Fi as well. If you're gonna be on Wi-Fi,
Of course.
my bad. My bad.
Gotta have that Wi-Fi.
Yeah, dope. All right, we're on. Look at that. Where y'all at? What you drinking?
We in the I'm on this tub, man. You did, yeah.
Yeah, that joint is nuts.
That Tata, you on that Topo?
I'm on the Topo game.
Bro, I got some Topo, man, but it's not the real one. This doesn't count, bro. Not you can't go plastic, bro. But I was at the liquor store.
You can't. You got to put that away. You got to put that away. Yeah, that's all.
Don't let us see that.
You can't finesse with that. If you're out,
it don't taste the same.
Doing whatever, you can rock the bottle and do whatever. But if you got that, you can't.
Yeah, you can't go plastic with it. It don't taste the same, dog.
You can't go plastic. No, sir.
We got 224 people in the building. Goddamn me. Yeah.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. You want to go ahead and get it going?
Yeah. Should we dive into it?
Yeah, let's do it. So thank you guys for joining in. Seriously, we truly appreciate this, and we think just two brothers, two people of color, just having this kind of conversation is really unique and empowering. And with this conversation, you're not in a sense going to know Leon better, and in a way you'll know his story, but this is to find inspiration from his story and for you to capture something out of what is said and take that and apply it and use that to inspire yourself and see a different perspective. And so that is the whole goal of today, find the light. And I truly hope that you leave here inspired and full of love and a different perspective. So let's get into it. So El, thank you so much for doing this, bro. Seriously, this is insane.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, big brother. Come on now.
Oh, absolutely. So, one of the first things that I wanted to address is whenever someone would look you up and look up who Leon Bridges is, every single media outlet, blog post would say Leon Bridges, the meteor-like rise to fame.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I would read that, it would make my skin crawl in a way, because I think true. It would make my skin crawl because it loses the hard work that you put in a way. So, they say it takes years of hard work for overnight success. And that is exactly what you are. You went from tabloids or magazines say you went from bussing tables or washing dishes from Tuesday, and Wednesday you were accepting your Grammy. But I can be a testament to saying that I would see you walk the streets of Magnolia with an amp on your hip, playing the guitar, and no one was listening to what you were singing. It's the same Leon, the same songs, the same style, the same charisma, but no one was listening, and the grind was there. So walk us a little bit on what was going through your head at the time. How were you keeping yourself creative? And what was on the mind of young Leon Bridges just walking the streets of Magnolia and playing guitar?
Totally, man. I would say the most disheartening thing for me around that time was, a lot of the heads that would say, that I didn't really deserve the success, and honestly, that that whole situation, that wasn't unique to me. You look, that's usually what happens, like for artists who make it in their city, and they make it out of their city, and you have the people that champion your success, and then there's also people you know, who criticize the success.
Yeah.
And honestly, for me, I had no ambition to make it, you know. So it was just out of pure love for the art, you know. And I love to, for me, like, I love being outdoors and playing music. And, you know, I would post up at Starbucks. I would go downtown and busk. I would go to Dallas. And it was just out of love. I wanted to, that was my platform, you know,
Yeah.
before getting on stages, before doing the open mic.
Man, I love that, because this was pre-Instagram being what it was. This was, you know, no one was posting nothing. Like, you weren't posting anything for the clout. Like, this wasn't, you know, yo, I'm posted up at Starbucks, come watch me play. And like, there was none of that. It was simply for the love that you had for music. It was just everyone watching. Imagine you seeing someone walking down a street with a small amp tied to their belt loop and just playing. And it's like, for me, that is a bubble of serenity, a bubble of pure joy and pure love for what he's doing, and just inspiring. And it did rub me the wrong way, where people are like, man, this fell on his lap. Like, he didn't deserve this, or like, I've been doing this for 10 years and he got a shot, and I'm more deserving of this. But there was that pureness about it, which completely changes the game and validates you to the 10th degree when it comes to that. And there was still the grind. Like, you were working and you were doing what you had to do in order for you to do what you love, you know? Yeah, which I think is amazing. So they say, tell me your friends, show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. So who were you surrounding yourself with? Because I think that is so important, especially at a time like the ground start of everything, ground zero. Who were you surrounding yourself with? Who was inspiring you at that time?
Totally. Well, I mean, I would have to bring it back to how I initially, you know, got into singing and got into playing guitar. Was through college. And I actually, some heads don't know that I initially pursued dance. And when I wasn't dancing, in my downtime, I would get together with some homies in college, and we would do jam sessions. And that's really what sparked my love for songwriting, and playing guitar. And so post that, I had to leave college, you know, to pick up another job and help my mother. And when through that, you know, I would go to these open mics in the city. And so I'm really grateful that, you know, I met guys who were pursuing music, like Jake Palachek and Tyler Brown and Octavian, who were in the scene. And you know, I grew up on R&B music, so it was really eye-opening for me to discover bands like Rolling Stone and The Band and Townes Van Zandt and Van Morrison through that community of musicians that I was hanging around that time.
We live in Fort Worth. Did you find it hard where predominantly the R&B game wasn't existent whatsoever? So at the time you had country music being dominant, punk being dominant. If you were gonna sing, if it was a black man that was at the front of a band or music, he's a blues musician, you know, and none of that was existing before. Like, how, for you, did it, was it a hindrance for you pursuing that style of music in the city? Was it inspiring for you? Did you want to pave a way? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, I do look at myself as somewhat of an anomaly around that time. The whole R&B thing, it was almost non-existent in Fort Worth. I mean, you look at Dallas and you look at, you know, you look at the Erykah Badu's, who inspired a whole community of musicians out there, and and in Fort Worth as well. But in Fort Worth, you know, you look at country music, which is dominant out here. Yeah. But honestly, like, I didn't really think about that. Even during that time, there were a lot of heads that supported me and championed what I was doing, you know?
Yeah. I love that. I love, like, you always, even on that painting that you have, you know, having Jake Palachuk on there, and I know the Texas Gentlemen were a big influence on you, showed you and paid you. So I love that. Let's see. Let's fast forward a bit when you're recording Coming Home, which is the first album that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So Coming Home was a transcending album, you know, in a way where it just literally tugged on people's heartstrings in a way that I haven't seen before. But at the time, no one was doing that 50s, 60s type of music, the retro. No one was doing that. There wasn't an artist out there to the degree that you were doing it. There was no one out there. Was there fear around you pursuing something that no one else has done? Did you have this, man, let me do something that works, that is proven to work? Yeah, take us through that. Were you afraid of making Coming Home?
I wasn't afraid at all. It was in a place of freedom, you know what I'm saying? Like a place where I was really inspired by 50s and 60s R&B, and I wanted to continue on Black heritage in that way, but also tell my narrative through it. And
yeah,
it wasn't calculated at all. You know, I wasn't thinking like, okay, this is going to work. Yeah, I did it because it was just something I was passionate about at the time. And so the beautiful thing about it is which totally goes back to when I was doing open mics and playing at Magnolia Motor Lounge. And shout out to my boy Austin Jenkins, who happened to be there the night that I was there and heard me sing and offered to help me record. And so during the process of Coming Home, we weren't thinking about it on a big level. You know, it was just about it was just about making, producing the tunes that I had written on guitar in the best way and giving them the best outfit. And honestly, when labels and management started to was interested, that was when the fear played in, because I had no idea of like in concept of the music industry. And so it definitely was a scary moment transitioning from being a local artist to having the opportunity to be signed to a label and have management involved.
Man, I absolutely love that, because again, you're saying for you it was all about the music, and I think people need to listen to this and grab a hold of this, because it's such a truth. It was all about the music for you. And then, like, there was no expectations outside of that. The whole ambition for you was just to create music that you loved.
Totally.
And once management came in, once label came in, that's when the fears start to rise and that expectation. You know, it's so disheartening in a way where the love for the music has kind of gone away. And I've been, you know, I've gone down this path before where I'm looking at analytics and I'm looking at how many streams do I have on Spotify and how many, like, this, or is this song going to stream more? Or is this song going to do this? Or can I get this sync? Instead of really worrying about the pureness of the music and making sure that I translate what I want to say in the music and for people to take something out of it. And I think that is what's most important beyond anything. Because if you stay true to that, those things will come. Because it's just being pure and being true and being honest with your craft. You know? The reason why the labels come and the management come is because they believe in the craft that you're making to begin with.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, that's it. And they're going to put matrix on things to maximize what you're doing in order for them to eat. But what you need to focus on, as you did, is the pureness of things and about the music. That's
that's what it's about, man. And heads ask me like, what's the formula, to making it.
Yeah.
And I think first and foremost, artists, should do it just for the pure love of the art. But I can also say what has worked in the industry is the places where there was a void within the music industry. You look at guys like Anderson .Paak, you know what I'm saying? There was a void in a sense, like he brought something new to the table. You look at guys like Khalid, there was a void. And then looking at my own success, I think what was intriguing about what I was doing was I was doing soul music from a Texas perspective, young guy out of Fort Worth type thing. And I'm really blessed that what I did resonated, with heads. And, here we are.
I'll even take it beyond that, because I think everyone has something unique. And you can be that thing that the industry misses just by being yourself. And what people tend to do is trying to emulate someone else. Try to like, I'm going to do what Leon does, and then I'm going to make it. Fail. You win. You fail. Khalid won because he's talking about high school, and he's talking about being in the summer and doing this, things that he knows and things that's real and he's talking about, and things that affect him. If I go and I can't talk about high school. I've been out for ages. Like that's not that's not real. It's not going to connect. And the only way people connect and they see that it's authentic is by you being you and you being the most you that you can be. Of course, we all have influences. We all have influences, and we have people that we take from. Like I've been inspired by you. I've been inspired by Gary Clark. I've been inspired by Sam. But at the end of the day, when I write my music, I can only talk from my perspective and what I've been through. And the things that I sing about and the things that I write about that's down that lane is what connects. And so that is so on point, is you need to be what the industry misses, and what the industry misses is you. You being yourself. That's crazy, man. Yeah, thank you for that. So as you're making Coming Home, who are you listening to? How are you staying, like, who are you drawing from? What's inspiring you to really, there's energy in that. There's energy, there's love within Coming Home. Like, where are you drawing from?
Man, I know a lot of heads don't really, the only thing that some heads hear from my music is like, oh yeah, this is Sam Cooke. This is, he's inspired by Otis Redding. But I mean, I would have to go back to the days when I was pursuing dance, and that's where I gained an eclectic, just taste of music. And you look at like, even before I started listening to Sam Cooke heavy, I was on James Blake and Local Natives, and I'm going blank on names right now. Portishead. And so I would say that my sound is an amalgamation of different sounds.
Yeah.
But during the time, I mean, I was listening to Townes Van Zandt, I was listening to Van Morrison, I was listening to Sam Cooke. But honestly, I didn't really try to study those guys. You know, it's what poured out into the music. It was definitely something that came from the subconscious. You know, it's my whole journey. You know, like going back to when I was a kid, and you know, listening to the music that my mother, you know, would listen to, like Sade and Anita Baker, to being around my father and listening to Stevie Wonder and Curtis Mayfield. You know, so it's definitely reflective of just my journey of the artists that I've I don't know picked up during that time.
No. What I love too that you did by creating that project is you tied a gap between artists from a different generation that would not know who Sam Cooke was, would not know who Otis Redding was, would not know who Bobby Womack was, or Stevie. Like Stevie's alive, but like those artists that are essential and laid a foundation. If it wasn't for your music, no one would be going out searching for, you know, what other artists made this music. You know, like no one was doing that, but you literally tied that gap, as in, you know, I was very illiterate to the musicians before me, but I had to do my homework. But it was only because of artists that I loved and that said, oh man, like these were the artists that I loved and that inspired me. So I did my homework to do that. So not only were you authentic to yourself and create this beautiful piece, but you also took a baton from the past and you moved it forward, you know,
and
which
definitely not a calculated thing that was not intentional, but it's rad that, you know, that my music can be the conduit, you know, for heads who don't know, who haven't been exposed to the greats. You know what I'm saying? It can be a conduit for those guys to discover, and do the research and go back and discover the ones I'm inspired by, you know.
Again, it wasn't calculated, but because you were authentic to yourself, that was produced, that happened. So again, it's being true to who you are and being true to your artistry and being as pure to yourself as possible, and good things are going to come out of that. So let's see.
Yeah.
You know, being your friend, I have, you know, myself, Brandon, you know, Zeus, you know, we've been there and you know, have the opportunity to see things from a different see things from a different perspective that no one else would. And so we've been able to see you sign to Columbia. We've seen you collaboration with Macklemore. We've seen playing for President Obama. We've seen all these accolades, all these treasures coming in for you. But honestly, you can't truly appreciate this, and others won't really appreciate this unless they know the failure that have paved the way for those success in a way. You know, the failure that have come that you've overcome, or no failure, but the way that you think about things. Like, so how did you deal with failure? Like what was your mind going through when you said, man, this was supposed to go a certain way and it didn't, or this was supposed to go a certain way and it didn't? Yeah.
Totally, man. I've been blessed in my career, that a lot of things have gone right. I've been blessed that I didn't really have to navigate through this whole thing without great management or a great label. Like, but one thing challenging for me. You know, when all this kicked off, was just like you know, being able to, you know, do the interviews and do and have great stage presence. You know, it was definitely a journey getting to a place to where I was comfortable on stage and doing those things. You know, but for me, you know, just to grow out, you know, to get better and grow in those areas, it was definitely helpful having guys like you around and Marcel around. You know, y'all definitely like just made me a stronger person, you know. So
so all of y'all listening, you need good people around you to desensitize failure in a way, or to minimize failure. You need good people around you. You need people that believe in you. You know, I've got you, I've got Marcel, I've got Zeus and Rambo, and so many people who truly believe in us, you know, which, man, our brotherhood is really unique. And I tell people, again, it takes a village. Like, no one can do it by themselves. And so even being able to see you and being inspired by your journey has given me so much inspiration and so much light, where it's literally poured into me and I can see, oh my goodness, like, I can't think this way. This isn't the way to go about things. And so for those of you who are starting anything, first of all, be pure to yourself as much as you can. Like, be you to a fault. Be you without an apology. And two, get good people around you. It is so vital for your success, so vital for your journey. And you can go and read and anyone saying, like, you having a wonderful management. Some people don't have the luxury of saying that. You know? But it's like, I hate my management, I hate my label. The fact that you have that, good people around you is so vital for any type of success. It takes a village, and you need that. So dope. Let's see.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How are you keeping inspired? What's going on? Like with this whole pandemic, how are you staying inspired?
Man, it's really lovely to be disconnected from everyone. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dreams of being a recluse have been manifested, you know? But yeah, man, like, I think, you know, prior to all this, you know, we love to make excuses, you know, for sharpening ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And now I have no excuses. I have all the time, you know, to be able to work on my craft, you know? And so, I don't know. Yeah. During this time, man, like, I've been playing a lot of guitar, which has really been nice. You know, I used to play, you know, I used to play obviously before, you know, before I made it or whatever, but it's really nice to get back to playing guitar. I mean, so yeah, I mean, you know, listening to a lot of dope artists and, you know, a little bit of Joe Exotic, you know, it's been.
Yo, I had to stop. I had to stop watching that. I swear to God, I couldn't do it. I was losing faith in humanity. Because I was like, yo, what is going on with Joe? Carol Baskin killed her husband. I'm
like, this shit got popular out of nowhere. Like, where did this come from? You know, like.
Yo, so guess what? Little fact. Joe Exotic used to live in Arlington and had a pet shop.
Word.
Back in the day. Yeah. Crazy. So he's a hometown guy.
Hometown.
Shout out. Right? I love that you're enjoying solitude, man. Solitude is so powerful, and if used right, can help you, one, realize yourself and what you need to do. And again, on the topic of being as pure to yourself as possible, solitude. And some people can't do it. Some people can't stand being alone by themselves. But I say the best relationship that you can ever have outside of your faith in God is one with yourself, because you need to be able, you lie with yourself every single night. Literally, you like the only person you lie with every single day is yourself. And so like, why not enjoy your own company? Like is crazy to me, but that's dope. And I've been playing cornhole, playing Uno.
What's been inspiring you, man, lately?
Man, I would say solitude, being alone and staying positive and going in there and I'll sit and I'll watch live shows. Like I'll sit there and watch an entire live show of different artists that I love and seeing little bits and pieces of what they do to make their show better. And so like I'll watch one from 2017 and see the same show 2018 and it's so much better, because they've worked on so many things in order to fine-tune comb to make sure the show is good. So those things, and like listening to podcasts and writing, write Summer Moon, writing.
Oh man, they gotta hear about that one, man.
Summer Moon, yeah.
Shout out to our new single, Summer Moon.
New single, Summer Moon. Myself, Leon, and Brandon going to a coffee shop 6 feet apart.
Hey, before y'all start chipping in the comments, man. We
were social distancing. And so, but we went, shout out to Summer Moon, that's in Fort Worth, and we went and Summer Moon, we saw that, and literally melody just like that started, and we wrote a song in under an hour. It was
totally, and the melody came to us, and we chased it, and we finished the song.
It was crazy, beautiful music, and I'm excited. So let's see this. What's the first place you going to once this whole thing's over? Actually, don't, because some of my pop up. Don't say that. Thinking about
nah, bro. We need to be quarantined until next year. So
next year, yeah. But then someone might pop on us the way they did at In-N-Out.
Wait, what you say?
Someone might pop in on us the way they did at In-N-Out. Crazy. You need to tell that story.
That was a crazy moment. So I went to In-N-Out and it's Whataburger all day, but we still mess with In-N-Out as well. But I went to In-N-Out. I was supposed to be meeting up with Abraham, and I posted on Instagram just like a picture of whatever. I think it was like my cup or a sandwich or something like that. And some random girl showed up while I was sitting down, trying to enjoy my meal, and asked if I could take a photo with her. And I don't have a problem with that, with taking pictures. But like that was my personal time, and that's just like when I'm enjoying time with my friends or family, sitting down for a meal. That's just off limits, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Man,
and where was you at, bro? I was waiting on you to get there.
Bro, I don't remember. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was just making sure that my fit was nice. But
late like mother.
I had to make sure I came correct, bro. But I remember coming in.
Louis know her name. What's up, Louis? We got Louis to sing in the house.
Yeah.
Her name was Valerie. And respect to Valerie. That was a little invasive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But honestly, I think a lot of people feel like they know you because they see you in some light. They feel like they have that access to you. But again, on perspective, you need to change your perspective and see that you're just as human as they are. And, they need to respect that. And the fact that when you're home, you're having a meal, that's a sacred moment that you need to be, like, it's great if you come by and say, hey, like, Leon, I love your music or whatever it is. that's great and respectable. And if they ask for a picture and you decline, don't get butthurt about it. Like, maybe you just lost your dog and you're not trying to, you know, or whatever it is, offer to buy you a drink instead, or buy your meal. And who knows, maybe you'll take a picture with them, you know, taking a shot or eating a Whataburger together. Like it's disheartening seeing how people feel like they know you because their song impacted them in a way, which is like cool also, because one piece of music, you know, like one music united us all, which is what it's about, but also, you know, respect. Cheer.
What?
There you go. You got.
No, it's all love. It's all love. You know what I'm saying? And
exactly. Nothing but love. So let's see. 2 more questions. Call to action. What is one thing that you can tell people listening right now that they can do to help them get on a better track than they are now? Let's say not get from 1 to 10, get from Tuesday I'm washing dishes, Wednesday I'm singing in front of Obama, but like from 2 to 3, to change their ideology, to change the way they think. What is one thing that you can give them right now that can really help them on their journey?
I mean, I can only speak from, you know, what has helped me. And that's like we talked about, just like surrounding myself with people, I would say, that are better than me, you know what I'm saying, at the craft in a sense. And then also like studying the greats, you know, from a songwriter perspective, you know, like studying the greats, listening to guys like Frank Ocean and Willie Nelson, you know, or people who are really dope at just conveying emotion and their personal narratives, you know what I'm saying? And so, study the greats. That's it.
Do your homework. Study the greats. You heard it from a great. There you go.
Let's take the great out of it. You know?
Amen. Hey, one last question, and I'm gonna let you go. Everyone, thank you so much. Everyone's asking you to play River. No, this is an interview.
We might need to do Summer Moon in that bit though. You know
we might need to do Summer Moon. Where's B at? You need to pull up.
B.
Yeah, tell him.
Come on.
But let's say the best advice that you ever gave me was to never have a plan B. And that if this was what I wanted to do, then go with it with all my energy and with my ultimate focus. And if I needed to do something to put food on the table in order for me to do what I loved, then yes. But the fact of not having a plan B and doing it, whether success came with it or it didn't, to stick with it, because ultimately if I'm doing it for the love, it will come. So what's the best advice that you've ever received?
Man, I would say that I can only look at the example, you know, that my mother, you know, led in the house, you know, seeing like the resilience of my mother, you know what I'm saying, and how she raised, you know, me and my siblings as a single mother, you know, and then also like, you know, being around, you know, and being in the workplace and seeing some of my Mexican coworkers, you know, and seeing their grind and their hard work, because I literally transitioned from being in the dish pit, being a busboy, to whatever this lifestyle I am I'm in now. That carried over into just my work ethic as a musician, and just seeing that helped me. You know?
Bro, I had so many people come in and say, "Oh my God, that's Leon." And I remember when he was working at Rosa's or Del Frisco's and he was busking tables, he always had a smile on his face. and he was singing the whole time. That to me speaks so much volumes on character, because you're doing something that a lot of people would consider as beneath them. You're cleaning after people, but for you to have a smile on your face and doing it with joy and admiration and also singing with it, that to me is everything, and goes back to saying that as long as you're pure to the art and pure to what you're doing, everything else will come. So crazy. That's that in a sense is the formula, is pure joy and good people around you, and the rest will follow.
Amen to that, bro.
Amen. Let's get Summer Moon and we'll conclude this. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do a little Summer Moon, man.
Let's do it. You should play it.
All right.
Yeah.
I know it's like
you brought that guitar to nowhere.
you know what I'm saying? Always got one on me. You know?
Hold on a second.
I know there's a little latency regarding the sound.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll just do a little wrist that won't mess it too much.
All right.
Or maybe not. Just give him a little taste.
Okay, this little taste? Okay,
yeah.
Here we go. Summer moon in June, centified perfume. Maybe sighing outside, but the motion is tight. Hey, rest my head on your lap, feeling full, be restored. From the bed to the floor, who would knock on the door? Yeah. When you're close, can't help but feel it. I don't know the meaning. You would not make peace. Flows like a river, travels like a stream, light beam on the sea. Centified perfume. Maybe sign outside, but the motion is tight. I hope you like a little bit of a out-of-tune guitar.
Out-of-tune guitar. Bro. Thank you so much for this. I love you, man. Absolutely. I love you, my dude. And
yes, sir.
I appreciate this, and I can't wait for what's to come and the more success that's going to come your way, and for you to impact the world even more. So God bless you, bro. I love you, man. Thank you for doing this.
Being this together, man. Love you, bro. I'll holler at you soon.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Wait.